everybody, and welcome to a very chilly morning out here in the African wilderness. We're coming to you all the way from Djuma Private Game Reserve, all the way in South Africa. Temperature today is apparently 12 and 54, but let me tell you, it feels a lot colder than that. Now we are enjoying the company of a beautiful water buck that seems to be the only friendly animal that's moving out and about. And ironic that we should start with the water buck, as water bucks are the symbol of the Sabi San, the private game reserve that we are operating in this morning, and pretty much every other day. Beautiful guy. My name is Ali, and on camera with me today I've got Gert. And as you guys know, it's a live and interactive show, so if you've got any comments or any questions, please feel free to send them through using the hashtag #SafariLive. We'd love to hear from you. Today, unfortunately, the Mara or friends in Kenya won't be joining us for the drive. They have been working really hard doing nighttime rehearsals for TV, so I think the guys probably need a bit of a rest, and we're gonna really enjoy seeing them on those next TV shows that are coming up. Now, there were some reports for shadow crossing from Arathusa just on one of our southern boundaries, so my plan for the morning is just to head in that direction and see if perhaps we can pick up any tracks. Would love to see that tiny little cub, but if not, pretty much anything else is wonderful to see. And who knows, maybe even the lions would have come that way. I am really hoping that we'll find out what happened to them during the night, because as we left them last night, they were busy heading into very thick vegetation, into those drainage lines off the eastern side of Djuma, where there were lots of impala. So I'm hoping those hungry mouths finally found something to eat. Luckily, this guy, who's very beautiful over here, was not one of them. Yeah, you were far away from the lions, weren't you? Beautiful boy. Right, well, we're gonna leave him here to his breakfast and to carry on with his life, and we're gonna carry on down the road, see if perhaps we can find some of those tracks and we can start looking around. One of the guides did mention that he checked, but that there were no tracks that he could see. So while I carry on driving to the spot where I want to start checking, let's go over to Taylor, who's busy looking for hyenas this morning. Bye, Waterbug.
Good morning again, everybody. It's great to be out here on this frosty Monday morning. My name is Taylor, and on camera with me today is the great Sebastian, manning the camera, bringing you all the amazing footage. And if you have, of course, any questions for us, you're welcome to hashtag #SafariLive on Twitter, and you can ask us all sorts of things. Now, we're on a mission this morning. We're looking for hyenas, and if you're watching the pre-show, I'd bumbled into an old den site, and I think that's the den that the hyenas are using. There are a lot of tracks around there. I did a big loop all the way around, and the various tunnels going into that termite mound seem to be well worn. Now, of course, it could be the fact that there may be a family of warthogs that are living in there too, but there are hundreds, not hundreds, it looks like there are hundreds of hyena tracks going up and down this road. And it's sort of like when a herd of impala walks across the road and you just see their little footprints. That's all that the roads look like now. It's just with hyena tracks, and they're in camp every night, and lots of commotion all the time around here. So I think we're going to keep checking that den. I'll come back a little bit later once it warms up too, and I think then we'll maybe just sit for a bit and see if we can hear anything. We didn't hear anything now though, but the hyena tracks don't seem to be coming back. There's just a lot of them heading out this way. But what we need to do now, seeing as though it is too cold, no one's going to come outside and out their den when it's probably warmer inside that termite mound. But we're going to start looking for the lions. Now, Ali lost those lionesses last night. She said it looked like they were going towards the dam, and she thought then they perhaps went east from that. And it's an old favorite spot of the Nkuhumas around Gari, Katla and Hyena Road and Buffelshoek Dam, in those drainage systems where they have made numerous kills before and they were hungry. But we'll start off by checking the cut line. I think we'll check Buffelshoek cut line first, just a little bit, just towards Hyenas Road, and see if there's any tracks crossing out heading into Buffelshoek again. We don't want to spend too much unnecessary time tracking an animal that is not on our property anymore. We'll rather work the areas that we can traverse, and hopefully we'll find the lions with a meal. They're been working hard for one. But poor Sebastian has given me strict instructions this morning. He says we need to find a sighting ASAP because it's that cold and he doesn't want to be driving around. So if we find something, they better be laying down or just sitting still. I'm a failing. I'm so sorry. I'm a huge disappointment to Seb today. They're making him cold. But yes, it is really, really chilly. I think it's only about 54°F, which is cold for us. And I know a lot of you are probably laughing, going, haha, that is not cold weather. You South Africans are sissies, you know? Well, we may be sissies when it comes to the cold. We like the warm weather. But we do put up with all the hairies and scaries, like me chasing the hyenas out of camp every single night, which is always loads and loads of fun. And so that's what I was doing at 2:30 this morning, was giving the evil eye to, I don't know which hyena it was. I was half asleep. I just stood there and stared at it, and I didn't even have to say anything because it knew exactly that it should not be in camp. But there were lots of them. There was also some more in the staff village. I could hear them dragging something around and they were getting all excited. So here we go. You think the raccoons are bad? Honey badgers and hyenas take the cake. Well, I suppose bears do the same thing too. I wouldn't want to face a bear. Oh. Now Chris, you're wondering if I'm tired from trying to keep the hyenas at bay for most of last night. I'm a little bit tired because they did the same thing to me the night before. I didn't chase them out of camp. Just want to quickly check here as we scan some of these areas. I'm a little bit tired. I think in the last 2 nights I probably had about a combination of 6 hours sleep, but I'll be fine. That's okay. That's why I said I'm going to go and pester the hyenas during the day for a bit of payback. Now, and this is a sort of something that happens quite often. Bobby, you're wondering, does it happen every single night? Most nights. We did go, though my last cycle we went for a period of about a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks, where we didn't see any hyenas at all in camp. We didn't even hear them. And now they seem to be back again. It's typical. Hyenas are always around lodges wherever you go. All the lodges in the sands will have exactly the same problem from the various clans that live around here. And you just sort of learn to deal with it. But I don't know why the hyena that we had was even bothering with the big bin, because there was nothing in it. Not one thing. The only thing that was in it was a brand new dustbin bag. That's it. But I think they just do it on purpose, to wake us up and drag the big bin around. Roshni said that I'm a brave girl for chasing away the hyenas. Oh, don't worry, the hyenas are not particularly dangerous, especially when you're much taller than them. They don't seem to mind you too much, though they get quite cheeky. They'll come right up to you. They're not necessarily going to bite you. If you're a child, I'd be a little bit concerned. You make sure that you have an adult around you at all times, because they are opportunistic and they're sneaky and very intelligent, and they will take any opportunity that they can. But when you're awake, you can literally just stand and look at them, and they know they shouldn't be there, and then off they go. Sometimes you have to give them a good clap and a, hey, get out of here, one of those, wake the rest of camp up. But otherwise, it's pretty relaxed. Now we're going to keep searching for these lions. I'm looking for tracks. I suppose I better concentrate and stop yapping away, but I'm going to send you across to Ali, who's starting her morning off with birds.
It is. Well, what better way than to start your morning other than by being greeted by these very loud starlings. It seems like we've got lots of greater blue-eared starlings moving around, and it's one of the wonderful things that we start experiencing in winter is them congregating, or pretty much any starling, in much bigger flocks than what we would see them during the summer. Now, I know we're only seeing one over here, but if you look onto this other side, we've got another maybe 10 of them all moving around looking for food. So they are looking all quite funny, because it's birds on the grass. It's always one of my favorite things, because they're always rushing somewhere. I feel like it's us as you start going to work, or you start going into the tube or the subway. Gotta do it very, very, very quickly, and up they start moving. They are beautiful little creatures though, aren't they? Run, little starling, run. Very appropriate for a Monday morning. Everybody rushing. I think maybe they all had a bit of a hard time waking up, and look at them, all of them running around. And it is quite funny, like I said, nowadays we see lots of them roosting on trees, and sometimes you can have maybe even 100 of them, 40, 50 I've seen all together during the winter time, and they make a racket. Rashni, you say such wonderful colors. It is. One of the most beautiful things about all species of starlings is just that iridescence, those beautiful, flying away, those beautiful colors that there are all around them. It seems like some of them have been flying in front of us and all around us. And just as the sun starts coming up, well, their colors are going to become brighter and brighter thanks to the light being reflected on their wings or on their plumage and feathers. So they're only going to get more beautiful as the time or as the day goes by. We can also hear in the distance some ground hornbills, but I think they are a bit further south from us, and it sounds like the noise is coming from Arethusa's side. Who knows, maybe we'll also get to see some of the biggest birds around here. Do you see the starlings? Have not gone quiet, moving around all throughout. Very busy bees. Alright, little ones, we are going to leave you because we are looking for something that's got hair instead of feathers. So let's see if perhaps we can come across any of the tracks for Shadow and the cub. Now I've scared them all away. Don't you worry, guys. I'm off. You can have your feeding ground in just a few moments. Now I wonder... I might have to do quite a big loop around because apparently she came into this general direction, and I know one of the guys was trying to look for her last night, but he said he didn't find any tracks. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe during the night she moved around a little bit more, and then we would be able to see some of the tracks. She seems to be enjoying this particular part, whereas Tandy and Tamba seem like they have preferred going into the Molowathi. So it's good because they're pretty much sticking to their own sides, if I can even divide Djuma that way. Alright, let's see. That is quite funny. I find it very appropriate that Shadow has decided to like the new road. Maybe because she's going to be the new leopard around here. Right, now I just want to check carefully. I don't want to miss any tracks or any potential signs of her being around. But if she's not here, maybe we'll go check somewhere else. Or for something else. We did see an elephant this morning, but I think it was a bit cold because it was going straight into the thickets and it was just not interested in stopping or saying hello or anything of the sorts. So it just carried on moving. Any tracks here? No tracks here. Oh. I am very cold. I wonder where those hyenas have been. They have been coming into camp so much more, and every day when we start, there are so many tracks around the camp. Well, obviously because there's our potential food sources there that they know that they can get to if they're cheeky enough. But also, on one of the roads very, very close to the camp, there are always so many hyena tracks going up and down. So sometimes I wonder, and Taylor and I, that's why this morning we said like, oh, maybe they've gone off to that new den of Galago, because they've got little ones. So I wonder where. This is the biggest hyena mystery that we've got, because we see their tracks, we know that they're around, and well, Taylor caught them yesterday as they were sniffing around in camp. But no signs of them outside of there. You see, talking about hyena tracks, there was maybe an old hyena track that I saw there on the road. It seems like the sun's gonna also start coming up soon enough, which is going to be wonderful, because everything is going to start warming up. I was hoping for another beautiful and misty morning today, but seems like that was not the case. Ah, Impala. Hello, girls. Now, this is one of my favorite views in the bush. There's beautiful colors of the impalas as well as the yellow grass. I feel like it's very soothing. It's one of those pretty scenes. Now, these three girls are looking in the direction of, I would imagine, the rest of the herd. And if Shadow came around this area, it could potentially be a very good place for her to start looking for food. Now, it might have been a good place for the lions, however, I think they carried on going north and moving in a different direction altogether. There's the rest of the herd all the way over there, very close to the termite mound. Now, I wonder if some of them have been going on top of the termite mound to be able to see a bit into the distance and further away. Or perhaps they've just been sleeping in this little thicket over here to keep warm during the night. Let me try and see if we can get another view of them. Ah, there's a lot more of you over here. So you guys were the 3 rebels. Now, let's see if we can have a better look of them. Justin, you're saying impala have such beautiful coats. I agree with you. Look at them. They are so beautiful, all of them moving around. Now it seems like we've also got one with a bit of an injury on her backside. I think nothing to worry about. And then she's gone off into the middle of the herd. Now the breeding herd that we're looking at, there are just a few youngsters around. Likely they were born in November last year, so they are beginning to develop quite quickly. Or well, actually they just develop quite quickly in general, because next year in May, as the breeding season starts again, then the dominant males, or all of the males that are or have come into the age of mating, they will kick off all the youngsters of their breeding herd, because they will see them as competition, likely like this male is doing now. I'm sorry, that is you, the only boy amongst all these girls, or the older boy amongst all the girls, and looking very regal. What you looking at? Can you hear anything? Very alert. I think if we learned anything from yesterday, was just how often we look at these creatures and we're like, oh, they're not really paying attention to what's around them, and then all of a sudden there's something that may it be instinct or a scent or just something that they can hear that automatically they get up and you can see their faces facing in a certain direction. Faces facing. That was not too clever of me. I'm sorry. Now I think it's a bit cold, and that's why all the girls are sticking into the thickets, and only the male, the brave one, is out in the open protecting all of them. And I think now, as they start calming down a little bit more, perhaps they will come into the clearing just to warm up a little bit and carry on feeding and carry on with the rest of their day. It's good to see that there is a herd around here. I've driven this road a few times, and normally there aren't too many things. How pretty is that view with all the little tips of the ears and the bums and somebody scratching itself. Very typical impala, all of them bunched up together facing the same direction. And like we said this morning, beautiful fluffy coats, just trying to keep warm. Laura Moore, you're wondering if the black stripes on the tail have any function, as they seem distracting when they're all together. Well, there's a lot of debate about what function those stripes have got. A lot of times, or it seems like the most widespread theory about it is just that they're also a follow me sign for when they start moving in thick bush, much like the lions have the black tip of the tail or the black behind their ears, and the waterbug have got those white circles around their rump. I think most theories point that this is a potential follow me sign, especially when they're moving into very thick bush. You can see here they're barely taller than the bush, so especially when they've got youngsters, it allows them to hold on to something into sight, like a beacon, while they move through the dense vegetation. There was also a theory going on for a while about that area attracting ticks, but I think that was discredited quite a while ago. Beautiful. Right. We shall go. Carry on, see if perhaps we can find anything around here. There was a big termite mound that Shadow and the cub enjoyed the other day, so fingers crossed she will magically just be there. One can dream. But still no tracks around here, so I want to carry on. There's another road as well that she seems to enjoy, and if not, then we shall carry on with her search for anybody else. While I do that, let's go over to Taylor and see how the lion search is going.
Well, we've moved on from hyena tracks now, and finally we've seen some lion tracks. I just want to jump out very quickly, not waste too much time, because they're obviously moving here last night. But the roads are pretty much littered with lion tracks, especially around over here. I'm going to find one that you might be able to see a bit better. Let's try this track over here. You see that? It's very faint. Just in there. I think this was early last night. This is a lioness track, and there's a whole lot of them going up and down here. So I think the 5 girls came in this direction, which is quite exciting. So let's see if they stay on the road for long enough. Okay, and Tax is helping us as well. He's checking before the cut line. We're on Central. Let's give it a bash. Okay. Now you just need to keep checking as well, because they could have veered off at any moment if something caught their attention. And maybe an antelope feeding, they would have responded, definitely responded to something like that. But we'll keep an eye out. The grass is still so long here, but I can still see it once. Oh no, they're on both sides of the roads now, walking here. Well, that's a good sign. Better sign would be to actually find the animals, but hopefully we will. This morning, actually, let's turn this radio up just in case Taxon says that they've crossed out. Yep, still walking here. Make sure that they haven't gone down towards, no they have too. Okay, their tracks go down here towards, some of their tracks go here. There's still a lioness walking here on Inyala Road, and a male lion track too. We'll stick with these ones. Maybe it was one lioness just going around like that, but we'll stay on this main set of tracks here. Just keep checking. Lots of guides out and about driving this morning. Okay, still going here. I'm going to ask someone to check cheetah cut line for me. Okay, no. Everyone's talking too much, so we won't be able to give them the updates until they stop talking about their routes. Okay, where are these lion tracks? Still going on the road. That's fantastic. Now the only problem is that we are approaching cheetah cut line. We're not too far away, so I hope that we get them somewhere around over here. Okay. Let's check. This is the whole thing about tracking, I suppose, and I don't want to keep stopping and spending too much time. There's lots of birds around because I really want to find these lions, but they're just searching for lots of food. Maybe we'll do a bit of birding today as well. I'd like to find some new birds. We keep trying to do LBJs, and I haven't had an opportunity just yet to actually do it at all. Just check that Tax isn't trying to call me now. Okay. Now I'm getting nervous. So now we're almost here. I'm just listening. Copy, thanks Tax. I'm still following Mafazi, Ngala and Madonna Ngala and Konza as well. I'm almost at Cheetah Cut Line, still going straight east. So Tax has got some more tracks somewhere just off of Hyena Road, and he says they go towards Buffelshoek boundary. So the Pride is actually split up. I haven't seen any cub tracks yet, so I think that the little ones are still on the property somewhere. Maybe these lions are still out searching for something to eat, so that's a good sign as well. If we can find the youngsters, they're old enough to view on their own, that'll be quite nice too. But perhaps we're going to have to go back to the spot where they were left last night. Maybe they'll still be around there. That'll be our next bet. Oh no. So it sounds like there's some tracks on Buffelshoek boundary as well going into Buffelshoek. So I'm going to have a chat to Rexon and Taxim. You're going to try and figure out a plan from here, and hopefully we'll find some cats. Ali is still doing lots of birding. Let's go see which feathered friend she's going to show you next.
Top. Well, we didn't manage to find more birds, but we have found very cute family of vervet monkeys. All of them curled up together. I'm sure they've had quite a freezing night, so they're all sleeping. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? It almost makes you feel sorry for them. I'm sure they've been struggling, but now it's only going to get better, guys, because the sun is coming up. So all of them bunched up for warmth. It's like we said, it was quite cold when we started moving around this morning, and I think we can see that some of the animals were also dealing with it, or how they were dealing with it. So I just count 3 of them all clumped, just trying to keep warm. Like we said, they are in a very good spot because the sun is starting to shine. It has risen above the horizon, so it's only getting warmer for now. I feel sorry for them. It seems like they're suffering. I have seen myself in that position before. Bobby, you're saying that we should give them a blanket. Yes, I think we should. Maybe a woolly blanket so that they can keep very, very warm in these cold winter mornings. Oh, that is so sweet. And for a moment there, we couldn't even see them in the tree. We just thought that they were part of the branch. But there we go. 3 monkeys blending perfectly well into the branches of a marula tree. And obviously the lack of movement of them not even doing anything just allows them to blend even better. It looked like one of those thick branches sometimes that the trees get. I mean, if you have a look like this, we know where to look, but it looks like there's nothing really going on that tree. And then all of a sudden, just a bit of movement or something, your brain picks up something that looks like it should be, but not quite. And then when we stopped and we had a bit of a look with the binoculars, and we found these 3 monkeys. Shame. Rajni, you're wondering if vervet monkeys have coats to help them keep warm in the winter months. Well, yes, that they do the same as the impala do, the piloerection, whereby they will raise their hair and try to trap the warmth that is being irradiated by their bodies to keep warm for a little bit longer. But what they're also doing now is they're using the sun to their advantage to keep warm. And you see as well, they're bundled up together. So for a lot of animals, in addition, as the winter months start coming around and they start molting and changing their head, and they have a thicker coat for the winter months, and as summer comes along, then they change their hair again, or they start losing some of their hair, and their coat becomes a bit thinner than what it normally would be, just because to adapt and to help them survive with the temperature difference between the very, very cold winter and the very, very hot summer. They are so sweet. Normally they're quite naughty creatures, running around on the ground looking for fruit and seeds, and especially if there's a lodge around, they will be there trying to steal little bits of food and pretty much anything else that they can find. But I think my heart is pretty full for them right now. David, you're asking if trees with leaves, if they wouldn't be warmer. They would be. They would keep them warmer throughout the night, but I think maybe these guys just found themselves in this tree last night because it's a good tree to support their weight. Now, the problem is also that there aren't too many thick trees around this area, so I think they chose that particular one because it's one of the tallest ones and one of the few ones that can accommodate the three of them at a certain height away from all potential predators. Some of the other trees around here are more like bushes, very thin branches, and they're not too far from the ground. So you see everything around us might not be that suitable for them to spend the night in. So I think maybe they had to compromise in between finding something high enough away from all the predators instead of going perhaps somewhere lower that might have been a bit thicker but not as safe. You see pretty much everything around us looks the way that you're looking at the screen now. So it's mostly bushes and no large trees around here with lots of leaves. I doubt that they will spend tomorrow night around here. Perhaps they will. But they'll probably be looking for thicker trees. Justin, you're wondering if I think our life would be easier if we had a tail too. Is that correct, Megan? I don't know. I don't really know what I would do with a tail. The tail for the vervet monkeys, it's not prehensile like the one for some of the monkeys in other parts of the world, so they can't wrap them around branches of tree and balance or hang from their tails. They just mostly use them for balance when they jump from tree to tree to keep a steady direction. So I'm not sure. Maybe if they had thicker tails, they could use them to wrap themselves around it and just use them as a scarf maybe, but us humans with tails, I'm not too sure. It would be quite an interesting thought to see a lot of people walking around with tails. Because then knowing humans, we would all fashion different tails and we would have dragon tails or, covers for tails and all sorts of different things. Maybe leopard print tails. That would be quite interesting. Shema, I think our monkeys are... Are you starting to wake up, little one? I see a head turning and facing. Sorry, Kurt. I just saw the black of the face moving, and I would be quite nice, no? If they started grooming themselves, but I think the morning is only gonna start coming. Oh, hello. Only gonna start coming a bit later on. Oh. So cold. Alyssa, you're saying sweet morning cuddles. It is. It's a very sweet scene of this family all together. I really have no words other than I find it very, very endearing for all these monkeys. So much like humans. I reckon if we had to live up a tree and fight the cold, that is exactly the way we would do it. Everyone trying to hug each other and putting our hands in all the warm places and our faces. So well done, monkeys. It's interesting to see how all the different animals adapt to the conditions that we have in this particular area. And like we said, we know we complain quite a bit about the cold when we go out on drive, but we're not the only ones. Chitty Chatty Meg, you're wondering if they're only sleep in trees. Well, yes, baboons and monkeys, they will normally spend their night roosting up in trees because it's the safest place for them, away from all potential predators and might be lurking on the ground. And if there were, for example, a leopard to come and try to climb the tree, they would have enough time to see it before it reaches them. That's why they prefer such high branches rather than going to trees that are, slightly smaller. Well, I have hope that you are somewhat warming up, little one, because I see your face has carried on moving and facing us. But I think we are going to leave them to warm up or finish warming up. It might be a process that might take another hour or so before they start grooming each other and decide to come down and start looking for food. Whew. While we do that, let's see if Taylor has had more luck with the lion tracks.
We've picked up so many more. We lost them for a little bit, so I'm just scanning, making sure I don't drive past them. And we had some nice fresh ones just off Quarry Pan Road going towards Nyala Road North, which is what we're on now. And I'm going to very quickly just check Buffelshoek Dam, and if I don't see anything around here, then I'm going to come back down this way and drive Nyala Road North back towards Central Gate. but we just need to check very, very, very carefully. Like I said earlier, we haven't seen one set of cub tracks just yet. So even if the adults have crossed out onto the property, off of the property, say onto Buffels Hook or onto Torchwood, somewhere around there, the youngsters are still on Djuma. So they'll have to come back if they do make a kill. They have to come back to fetch them again. Now, HA, you said that you really hope that the lions made a kill. They looked very hungry last night. They did. They hadn't eaten for a couple of days, or maybe they caught something small in between. But you could see the hunger was definitely taking over them. So Sebastian and I were just discussing it now. This is a really good area for kudu. There are a lot of kudu around here. So if they could catch a big kudu bull or even a zebra, there's quite a few stallions hanging around. I've seen a few that are their own, and that actually that would be. I'm not yet over here. Could double check, and we'll just check up on the dam wall. See, it's a hard one, because I also want to check Hippo Pools Road now too. Doesn't look like there's any lions here just yet, but we have got a hippo. We'll go up a little bit further forward. Whew. Frosty at the dam. Very, very frosty. But not much going on here. There seems to be one hippo for now. There could be a few more that are just lurking beneath the water's surface. And you can hear the turtle doves singing their morning tune. There doesn't seem to be too much else making a noise out here today. Sleepy hippo. BR, you've said that this is such a lovely spot. It is most certainly a really beautiful spot here. There's actually a turtle dove sitting on the edge. You see where they're fitting those gabions? There's one sitting at the edge. I think it might be one of the ones that are calling. Are you? No, you seem to be sitting fairly still. But there's not much going on here. There's the turtle dove or a ringneck. A bit chilly. I wouldn't want to drink this water at that temperature. Unless I just run 5 kilometers, then possibly. But that's not the one singing. That one's actually been quite still. Probably just finding a nice spot to warm itself up. But the dam will become quite busy over the next few weeks as we head further and further into the winter months. And these are going to be really, really good spots to keep coming to check out here. And I feel as though I could sit here for quite a while as well. It's nice in the beautiful sun. But no lions. Snorky, you've said that the water is as smooth as grass. Is glass. No, it's not as smooth as grass. I've never seen smooth grass in my life. It is. There's not a breath of wind. The only thing that are creating disturbances in the water are the little insects and the occasional fish and terrapin that will be popping its head up out of the water. But very, very quiet here. Now, Sebastian, what do you think we should do? Do you think we should quickly do Hippo Pools Road, or do you think we should go back down Inyala Road north?
Inyala north.
Do you want to go all the way back down? I also don't know. We'd see it's a hard one here because the lion tracks in Buffels Hook as well. I don't really, sorry, it's me shuffling around, sorry for the movement. I was hoping that as we sat here, we were going to hear some scuffling or some noise that'll pinpoint us in the direction that we need to go. Really quickly, okay, so Taxon and them have moved into, okay, they're in Buffels Hook. I think we need to maybe go and have a look for the cubs then. Let me just quickly ask on the radio. Tax, how many sets of tracks did you have going north? Okay, so it seems like most of them have crossed into Buffels Hook. I think let's let them search in Buffels Hook. Let's go back towards the last position of the cubs. Has anybody checked where they left the Mantuans last night, or from Vubu Road? Okay, copy. I'm gonna go down the cut line then. I'm just at the Buffelshoek Dam. I'll go check that last position then. Let's go do that. Hippopotamus, your day is coming to an end. Fast asleep. These are quite nice. Very nice. Hippo, I hope you have a good day. And what we're gonna do now, searching for those little ones, and hopefully we're going to find the lions. I'm going to send you across to Ellie, who has got her far lookers out staring into the distance.
We do have our binoculars out. It seems like there is a battalier eagle perching on one of the trees in the distance. Now, it is a bit hard sometimes to tell what eagles we're looking at when the sun is not in our favor by judging by its head in the distance. That's what I'm thinking it is. Definitely a battalier. Well, good morning. Beautiful. Someone is also warming up. You see, they've got that typical headstand. Oh, you're actually looking for something and confusing me. Well, normally when battaliers start sunning themselves, it's funny because it's almost like they stretch their necks and lower their shoulders and just try to get warm on the lower part of their back. Beautiful. You're very fluffed up. I'm sure you're also like the monkeys, enjoying being on top of the tree and just trying to see into the sun and get the day started, don't you? Beautiful. Now, it seems like this is a female. I can see some white on the lower part of the underwing. So the females have an extra white on their side feathers that you can see when they're perching. And I think I can see this. I would like not to be wrong, because us girls got to stick together. And I'm sure there's the male somewhere around here. We've been seeing a pair of battaliers, and I'm sure they're the dominant ones of this particular area. And they're likely only going to have a tiny little egg to look after next summer. Where are you guys? Try to look for the other one, but not 100% is anywhere around here. So very beautiful. You see, it's still a bit hazy this morning. It still hasn't completely dried up, so it's been a bit strange because it's been something in between very clear view and misty, depending on where we drive. Alright, we are going to leave this beautiful battalier and we're going to carry on down the road. Unfortunately, we checked all the roads where Shadow could have walked had she walked in from Arathusa's side, and we had no luck with the tracks. So I'm going to carry on and going to try a completely different area, see if perhaps we get any tracks for leopard there, or if not, then some elephants and buffalo would be nice. I don't think we've seen a buffalo in quite a while, likely because the lions have been around. So I think maybe the buffalo don't really want to be around here with 11 hungry lions. I wouldn't be around here if I were a buffalo either. Now, I wonder if we're going to start seeing more elephants at any point during this winter. Normally we get very big herds coming all the way from Kruger Park as the dams start drying up there, so they pretty much move into this area. And last winter, when it was so dry and we had that drought, because we had a very dry summer, we had about an extra 3,000 elephants that came from Kruger. I believe it was between 2.5 and 3.5 thousand elephants extra than what we normally have, and it's because of all the perennial water that we have in the Sabi sand. There are no big rivers around here, and pretty much every camp has got a very big dam or a pan in front of the lodge just to attract and make sure that some of the wildlife stays in this area, because otherwise the animals would just migrate and move off to other areas where they can find enough water. Funny enough, there's a park in Zimbabwe called Wangi National Park that was developed exactly in this manner. So there was a very big migration that used to happen all the way from Zimbabwe to Naipans in Botswana, and then all the way back, just following the seasonal rains, much like we're seeing the migration in the Mara, but to a smaller extent. And when they started developing the tourism, they realized that they were going to have to put dams and just perennial sources of water, or sources of water that were not going to dry up because they pump them constantly, because otherwise come the winter time then the elephants move and they go back to Botswana where they can find more water, and then they'll come back again during the summertime where it's nice and lush and beautiful. Now, because they have been doing that for, I think it's about, I want to say about 40 years that the park has been going on, and this is a park that is at the western corner of Zimbabwe. Well, not the, yeah, more towards the east rather than the south. That because the elephants have been staying for so long and they don't really have to leave anymore during the winter time or migrate and go somewhere else, perhaps even try and go to Manapul's National Park, some of them back to Botswana, they have had so many issues with a beautiful species of tree called the camel thorn, which is not a tree that we get around here. It's also part of the acacia family, and they've got those wonderful pods that are very nutritious. And the plants are also, the acacia itself is quite nutritious, the leaves. And like I was saying, because the elephants do not leave the national park anymore, it's affected the amount of camel thorns that they've got in that particular area, because the camel thorns cannot grow tall enough, and they only have the remnants of older ones. All the young camel thorns and all the shoots are broken down by the elephants pretty much as they have a meter of height, because they're fresh, they're yummy. So the Yelis are very clever, and they'll come and they'll take them out of the ground before they even have a chance of becoming a very big beautiful tree. So they're doing all sorts of studies now to try and see what they can do to prevent all of the elephant damage around these trees that virtually sustain all the elephant populations during the winter time. It's one of those things where it doesn't properly work. We've tried to provide the elephants with water, but while we have, it seems like the elephants are eating all their food up. Right, I think maybe that's enough tree chatter for a little while, but I'm gonna carry on looking for pretty much an elephant would be nice. Let's go back to Taylor, who's managed to find the little Nkuhumas.
Wow, my goodness, they gave us a run around this morning. We actually should have just come straight here to see where the cubs were, but they're walking straight towards us. One of the lionesses has come back to fetch them, and I just said to Sebastian, I was like, there's lionesses here, they're fresh tracks. Hello guys. Now, looking at her, she doesn't look like she's got any, hang on, no, look at her paws. Can we zoom into her paws?
Yeah.
And if we go up her legs, on her left leg I saw a bit of blood. I thought I did. Maybe I'm imagining it.
Yes.
I think they've maybe made a kill. I don't know where though, but definitely around here somewhere. So, and that's quite exciting. So she's going to walk right past the car now. That's crazy. Hi girl. Sure, when you sit like this next to a lioness as she walks past, you realize how big they truly are. Look at that. And remember, I don't have a door on my car, but she did not even look at me once. Right, now we need to turn around because we're not far away from the cut line at all. So I think that they've made a kill in Buffelshoek, because that looks like where the tracks are coming from. So I just want to quickly update everybody again. I did just update them just before you came to us. Stations on Mufazzi and Gala, 6-month ones, and are mobile in a northerly direction on Mvubu Road. There's one on Lock 2 making their approach. I think they're going to go back into Buffelshoek, so I'm going to stay with them until they cross out. Yeah, AFM tax, they look like they're going in that direction. Look at these two, look at them, they're playing in some dung. Hey? Yes, rub your scent off. Oh, here comes one who got left behind. Look at them all. They're so playful now, so I just want to turn my radio down. I have handed the sighting over to Tax and Rex and now, so I won't have to talk too much more. We'll let them just make their way through. I think what I want to do is, oh my goodness, it's right on top of the termite mound. I'm going to quickly go forward because I think the youngsters are going to they're obviously quite excited. I think they know dinner's about to be served. You can imagine if you've got children growing up, or if you remember those feelings of how excited you were to have dinner, especially when it was your favorite dinner. And well, the lions don't really mind what they eat. Anything they eat is their favorite. So they're excited. They're just sitting up top here. No, they're gonna go down. I just want to see if I can get a nice view of them. Come on, other Nkuhuma cubs, up you go. On top of this termite mound. I've actually climbed up this termite mound before. It is so steep, but I think this one is planning its attack on Mom. So we might see it race down. There we go. If you keep watching, the second one will probably go now too. As soon as Mom turns its back, it should come charging down. But how great was this? I'm so happy that even if it's just a quick sighting of the Nkuhumas, that suits me perfectly. I'm so happy right now. And I'm happy that they have a meal. We will find out from Tax and Rex, and if they do cross into Buffelshoek, what they were eating. And I hope it's something big. Well, not too big, because I don't want them to not be around for some time. Right, let me quickly... Still practicing, still annoying Mom, but then coming back for some love. Oh, that's lovely. Look how big they're getting though. That's a great sighting. Seb, let's zoom around very quickly and get them walking towards us, I think, because they're going to cross out. So I want to get a nice angle for you. Look at them. They're crazy. They're full of beans. Now, which way are we going to go? Okay, we can zoom around this way. Whee! Down we go. Now, Michael, you're wondering if these cubs should be following the adults when they go on a hunt. Not quite yet. They're not old enough just yet. Once they get to just over a year and a half or so, they'll sit and observe. Hello, yes, but I want to watch you all come towards me again. So they eventually will, yeah, straight into Buffelshoek. Let me see. There's my favorite little girl, I think. Hi, guys. Let's watch these guys come towards us here. Where's Mom? Mom's up ahead. But isn't this just so beautiful? It really is so lovely to have them all moving around us. And there they go, right in front of the car. I need to guard Taxon and them because they are going to miss them. And I can't hear them. They're on the radio. How cool is this though? But eventually they'll start joining in. I think not too much longer now before... Who's still coming? Oh, there's one behind us. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. I keep hearing all these sounds and all the Nkuhuma cubs keep splitting up. The ones just ran and got left behind, obviously. Let's see if we can get another view down here. They've crossed into Buffelshoek now. And I do want to tell the guys... If you go to Tamburi Dam, you should get their visual. They're on the dam wall. There we go. There's a view of one in the distance. Just sitting perched right up on the top of the dam wall. So this is just in Buffelshoek now. Maybe they're not too far. Maybe they're right here. And that'll be quite good for us. Because that means that then they could cross back at any time. And down they go. But we'll find out shortly from the guides. And now that's it. Now we have no more lions to look at. Very sad, but a short and sweet sighting, but a great one nonetheless. Hey, that was nice, high action. Nice. Quick couple of walk bys. Just about brushing up against my leg. Let me just quickly find out here. Tax for Taylor. Have you got visual of them? They're at Tamburi Dam. I've lost visual now. Copy. I think they have bumbled something. Will you keep me updated and just let me know what they did take down last night? There we go. There we go. So unfortunately our lion sighting is over, but it is just starting for some of the other guides, and I hope that they manage to catch up with them because they're quite far away and don't lose them. See if we can get one last view in here. Nah, it's too thick. Well, at least we got our cat fix for the day, keeping that cat streak up. They might come back again. Saxon will keep communicating with me throughout the morning as to what they get up to and what they did take down last night. But I'm going to send you across to Ali, who's not looking for lions, but looking for leopards. Oh, no, you're staying with me. You're not going anywhere. Let's carry on. I actually don't want to go this way because we've already done this route. I want to turn around and I would like to go... Where would I like to go? I think I want to go and check around Sydney's dam and see if there's anything happening there. We'll just do a sneaky little loop like this. Whee! Over the bumps, down we go. See, I actually wanted to stop here. Right, down we go. Now, Sammy James, yesterday while you were sitting with Ali, you were watching the lions do a fair amount of grooming. And your question is, why would they do so much grooming before a hunt? Well, it's sort of like before you go to work in the morning. You typically, or before you go out somewhere, you'll have a shower, you'll have a bath, you'll get clean, you get rid of your old scent. That's exactly what the lions are doing. That's the equivalent of having a bath, starting fresh, and off they go. And we briefly saw them rolling around in the dung. And that's another thing that lions will do, is they'll often roll around in elephant dung, in rhino dung, in buffalo dung to try and hide that lion scent that they do have. It might not be too obvious to us, but to the prey that they're hunting, they know exactly what a lion smells like, and if they smell a lion, they're going to go in the complete opposite direction. I do see some guides. I just want to make sure that they get them. I don't know if they've spotted them yet. See, this is the problem. I obviously couldn't follow them, and I feel terrible if these Nkuhumas give them the slip. Let me just put my radio back on again in case they're trying to get hold of me. Maybe I must just stand by here where we had them going on the animal pathway. See, I wonder where they've gone now, because they went here down through the dam. Oh no, there's a vehicle there. That's fine. We don't need to do anything. Okay, just making sure that the rest of our team, not necessarily our Wild Earth team, but the guides out here, we all help each other, so we're all basically one team. We all want to see the animals, and I wanted to make sure that they definitely got a sighting of them. But it seems as though Taxon or Rexon is already down in the dam. We just couldn't see them, so that's good. So that's very, very exciting, and I'm sure that you're all smiling from ear to ear that they have got something to eat. Definitely had a little bit of blood on her. It might not be a big kill, it could be something just as small as an impala, but that doesn't matter. Just a couple of mouthfuls each will be very important, just to give them a bit of energy, give them enough sustenance to then maybe try and hunt something again this evening. But we'll keep an eye out around here. We'll definitely come back this afternoon or later this evening and have a drive about. Right, so let's try this again. It seems as though the gremlins had got a hold of Ali a moment ago, but she's managed to fight them off, and she's still searching for shadow.
Well, I think our search for shadow is going to have to come to an end purely because there are no tracks. So I can only go out of a hunch or a rough explanation of where she could have potentially crossed if I see no tracks, because then you guys can imagine it gets a bit complicated to try and find them. And it's funny, however, how it works. The past few days, every time that I've driven down a road, there are leopard tracks non-stop going up and down and then back again, and then they go in this direction, they cross over, and then they go in a certain other direction. And now today we've driven pretty much on all those roads where we've had so many leopard tracks in the past, and there hasn't been one track. So it always amazes me how things work out in the bush, where you think that something is going to become the rule, and if I drive down this road, surely I can pick up leopard tracks, and nope, nothing. So quite an interesting turn of events. Whew. Now we are in the southern corner of Djuma, and it is quite cold down here, and could be a reason why we don't have too many creatures moving around. We are just passing twin dams on our right, and I think we're gonna go check Treehouse Dam as the last option, or the last area where leopards might have walked around. Hopefully they will be somewhere around there, or at least right. There have also been road, tracks, branches that have fallen over, perhaps not exactly where we are, but as on our way to the dam. But we haven't been able to find the elephants either. I'm hoping maybe they'll go back to treehouse. Is there tracks were roughly headed in that direction, and I hope we're gonna get them there as they come out of the drainage line. And I'm sure everyone's too cold. Sorry. Daniel, who's 13 years old. You want me to find an elephant? I'm trying. I have seen 2 already this morning, but they've been in an area that's pretty much impossible to get to, far away from it. So I was hoping that if we came down, we would be able to find some. Another road where I think maybe, hopefully, they could come out, and maybe in the afternoon. I think perhaps it's a bit cold, and that's why they haven't moved into areas that are a bit more open where we could start seeing. Like we saw the monkeys earlier on this morning. I think that's pretty much what all the animals are doing now. They're just kind of huddled together, warming up, and as it gets warmer, then that's when they're going to start moving and starting their day. But fingers crossed we'll be able to find an elephant soon. No tracks for elephants on this road, or leopard either. But let's not lose hope. Who knows what will be around the corner. Whew. And if I can choose anything to be around the corner, that would probably be a pangolin. As in certain areas, for example in the Kalahari, where they see pangolin every so often, during the winter time, and the aardvarks as well, they see them moving around later on during the morning, just because the night has been so dark that they move a bit more into the daylight hours to be able to find all the termites while they move around. So who knows, there is always hope. Yeah, pangolin would be first prize, especially while Tristan's on leave, so I can repay that one, because every time I'm on leave he finds a pangolin, which really upsets me. Alright, we've got some beautiful kudu here. Now this is quite interesting what we're looking at here. Now, don't go away, kudu girls. They are feeding on a species of tree, or they were at least until a few moments ago. They were feeding on a species of tree called the tamboti, and tamboti is well known for being quite a toxic tree. They've got a milky latex that not all animals like, but it seems that kudu can browse upon it, not too much, but for a little while, and they're not too affected by the latex that is found in the leaves. Just to give you guys an idea, is the type of latex that it can be so toxic to humans that, for example, when you start cutting the tree or you cut branches of the tree, if it goes into your eye, you've got to be careful, because if you get too much of it, you can go blind. And in the local areas, they also use a few droplets in hot water to use it as a purgative, just the latex. So the leaves are very small, I would say maybe just about this big, but very, very powerful latex with lots of toxins. Seems like Taylor has managed to find a surprise, so let's go over to her and see what McCurdy has got.
Well, I'm still getting prepared, but we've got some birthdays in the house today. It is Kirst's birthday. How's that a joint birthday? So I'm sure Kenya is going to be seriously festive today, and hopefully have cake for breakfast. But now I'm trying to find some pom-poms. But of course, do you think I can find a tree that I can actually touch? Oh, there's a guarri tree. The rest of them are all thorny. So I'm going to do something now. You have to just bear with me. I'm going to even pull off of the road and hide away in case somebody drives past. That would be very awkward. Okay, I'll be back in like 2 seconds. I have to run this way. Which one? Oh, we don't want to take one with fruit because I want to eat that. 1. Now I'm going to make sure that I don't trip here. Okay, right. Ready? Am I in?
Oh yeah.
Again. Sebastian, where's the background music? None.
The birds.
Happy birthday, Rebecca and Kirsty. Woo, woo, woo. Happy birthday, Rebecca and Kirsty. Woo, woo, woo. It's your birthday and I hope you have cake. It's your birthday, I hope you have cake. And all sorts of other things. There we go. Happy birthday, guys. We wish you were there. So from the Sabi Sand team, I'm sure you'll get a video or something a little bit later. I have to take my jackets off now because it's very hot. So
Happy birthday, girl!
Woo! Happy birthday!
Joyeux anniversaire!
Okay, right. Let me take my pom-poms with. I'm going to try and jump down, but I have to remove all of these jackets after bouncing about now. Right, that was good. Let's go back in. It gets warm when you get your legs moving, I'll tell you that. It's not freezing anymore. It's amazing how the days just change. 1 minute they're freezing cold, you have all the condensation coming out of your breath. Whee! Gloves are off, jackets are off, scarf is off. Now I'm ready to see all sorts of wonderful animals, and it seems as though Ali has already found some wonderful animals, so I'll let her show you what she's got.
We have found some lovely animals that are just being so mean and flying away. So we had 2 hornbills that were feeding off the beans of the senna plant, which is a green plant that is over there, and the beans are very nice and long and nutritious. Now that's not a plant that's supposed to be here. It's one of the invasive or alien species that we have, but it doesn't really matter because they were enjoying it. But I think they are also being a bit too shy. So we're going to leave the hornbills. That was ugly of you guys, especially after Taylor put on such a good show singing happy birthday. But alright, let me carry on. We're still on our way to that last row to check around Treehouse Dam, see if perhaps there are any leopard tracks around there. But I think today might be a day where leopards are just taking the day off and decide not to be around. Or at least for the morning. We shall see. Oh, now we've got, looks like I can hear a hornbill. Oh, there we go. Let's maybe see if this ones will stay around. The hornbills in front of us, they were doing their display, which is pretty fantastic. So I'm hoping he's going to start again. Come, guys. It's one of the best things out here because the noise that they make sounds very much like the one of a zebra, ironically. Yeah. So we've got the female, which is the one closer to us, the one on the left, and then the male with the bigger beak, the one on the right. It's a good comparison, and the only way to tell them apart is just by the size of the beak, and it's normally a lot easier if you've got 2 of them together to be able to tell who's who. Now I'm hoping that he's going to start making that beautiful call because they raise their feathers and they open them up. It's almost like they're landing, and then they start making their noise and bobbing their heads. Oh, come on, guys. Alright, maybe not anymore. Maybe they're gonna go back to sunbathing and grooming themselves and cleaning up all of their feathers. I had hope that they were gonna do that, but it seems like hornbills this morning are being quite difficult with us, either flying away or stopping their activities as soon as we arrive. Kathy, you say they look beautiful with... Ah, yes. Alright. Sorry. Alright, sorry guys, there was just a strange update on the radio. Sorry, can you confirm where that lock is running? They're fighting! Alright guys, I've got to unfortunately move because there's a vehicle coming behind us. I apologize. It seems like they found Tundi on Torchwood, if I'm not mistaken. So that was the update that I was listening to on the radio. But unfortunately Torchwood is an area where we cannot go into. So we get to know that she's around and that she's expanding her area of operation. But I'm just gonna let these guys drive past us. And they can carry on, and so can we. Ali, how are you?
Sorry?
How are you?
We are okay.
Any updates on your side?
Yes, we are cooking there.
What have you got there?
All English.
All English on Chitwa.
Yes.
Where on Chitwa?
And my lord.
I'm gonna go there now. Is there a lineup?
Yeah, talk to them.
I can't hear them.
Okay, yeah, there's a big lineup.
Okay, can you do me a favor and speak to them and put me on the lineup?
Okay.
Alright, thanks so much.
Can you switch off yours quickly?
Yes, I have now. Come, volume. Alright, you're more than welcome to drive past if you want.
Can you switch off your radio quickly?
Switch it off, yeah?
Can you switch off?
Yeah?
Okay, it must be the thing, but no problem.
Okay. I'm not sure what's going on right now. I'll fill you all in 1 second.
Slow down and see most of the guys, but I'll talk to them now.
Okay.
But your machine is on, so it's affecting you.
No, shame, sorry. Alright, thanks so much.
I get it.
Okay.
You guys have your machine.
Alright, I'm sure.
So,
Okay.
wait until like maybe 9:15.
Okay, whereabouts is it? Because I can't copy the guys too much.
Do not wait to the Chitwa driveway in the one I came road.
Yeah?
The Chitwa one I came road.
Yeah?
It's a drainage down coming from the solar panel.
Where the sticks were. Roughly when they had that bamba.
Yeah, but okay, you can either driveway
Yeah?
the one I passed. But in that drainage line, coming with the solar panel.
Okay.
You come from the driveway, then that is the old path that's next to the solar panel, facing west, and see the hard tracks going to the drainage line.
Okay. Alright, cool.
Like 9:15 after that, and then guys go be back.
Alright, perfect. I'll try to get a hold of them on the radio. Thank you. Right. Sorry guys, this got a bit complicated and out of hand. So let me just explain everything that's been happening. Apparently they found some leopards at Chitwa, although Hali's quite optimistic and he says that they have found all of them on Chitwa, which I don't think it's quite possible. So we are going to go into the lineup and see who it is that's around, but because there are more than one leopard, there is quite a lot of people that want to go there. So I'm just going to hang around the southern area of the property, see if perhaps we get lucky with a leopard of our own until we are allowed to go all the way over there and start looking at whoever it is that is out there. So apologies for spending so much time on the radio and talking to the guys. I was just trying to get hold of everyone. Standing by. Ah, that's not me. All right. No worries. Woo! Woo! The radio is falling down now. All right, let's carry on and see what else that we can see. But let's go in the meantime to Taylor, who hopefully will be having something very nice to show us.
Well, I'm not going to be doing any more dancing today. I think that's enough embarrassment for one day, for the next week or till the next team member's birthday, I suppose. Anyways, so we're driving around now, and I know because Ali's going to head on to Chitwa, I think we're going to start sort of bumbling around in these areas and working this southwestern section, and see what else we can pick up. It would be quite nice if we could maybe find some elephants. I did see quite a few elephant tracks at one point when we were looking for the lions, but I didn't focus on them. We're just going past a couple of civilian vehicles, obviously leaving, heading home, which is quite sad. They looked very happy though. I think if I was leaving the property, I'd be absolutely miserable. Sorry, lots of corrugations here. We will turn off on the next road now. So I saw Ralph last night, so he's guiding up at Cheetah Plains, and he said to me, and I don't know, I sort of briefly told Ali that he got word that apparently Shadow was, I know she mentioned it earlier, Shadow was seen around this area on Triple M Gari Mania, that's the signs at Arathusa. So she does like it around here, and she's been spending more and more time on Djuma. So I think she could be around in here somewhere. Well, hopefully we'll be able to pick her up. Maybe we'll check Treehouse Dam. I'm not sure, has Ali checked Treehouse Dam? Megan, did you remember seeing her go there at any point this morning? Okay, Megan's just going to quickly check to see if she did go that way. So what we'll do is we'll maybe head around there as we'll go and check, and then we'll go back to Gallagher Shortcut. Oh, okay, so Ali's going to Treehouse Dam now, so that's fine. So we'll go in here, we'll check a couple of roads, and then we'll go back towards maybe Gallagher Shortcut as well, and go and sit around that den and see if anybody has woken up, because the sun is starting to get quite nice and warm. I had to put my scarf back on though, my neck was cold. But the rest of my body is warmed up quite nicely now, which is lovely. I really do hope we can find some hyenas and find where they've been denning. Who was walking here? A civet. A civet and a parla were walking here at some point. No leopard tracks just yet, but we'll keep searching. So this road has definitely been driven on. This one has not been driven on, so we'll take the one that hasn't been driven on just yet. I hope Ali gets into this leopard sighting that's on Chitwa somewhere. That'll be quite nice for her. I love how we keep swapping roles though. One moment I'm with the lions, and the next day she's with the lions, and then she's with the leopard, and then I'm back with the lions. It's quite fun, and I hope we can keep this this momentum going with all the cats, because it's quite nice to see a cat on every game drive. Who else is walking here? I thought I saw a leopard track at one point, but I may have just been a hyena. No, not a leopard track, just more hyena footprints. And another thing we need to keep checking in this area, this is really good, is to see if there's any guarri trees that have got fruit, because they were starting to get their little flowers. Let's see. No, this is not quite guarri territory just yet. We need to go up a bit further. There's a few of them. But I'd like to eat some fruit. I'd like to put some natural red lipstick on this morning. No, none there. And I'll try and show you some as the fruit's starting to develop. No, there's none on these trees. The ones that I was at, that I made my pom-poms from. You see, look here. Let me jump out very quickly. Let me go around the other way. This is going to be full of fruit. Look at this. It's going to be fantastic. So you can see all the little berries just starting to develop now. Very small still. Can't eat those. I don't think that they would taste very nice. You can see what they taste like when they're this small. Like nothing. They don't taste like anything. This is going to be a very good tree to come to though, and I'm going to be fighting the birds and the monkeys and all sorts of things off, because I love this fruit. It's one of my favorite fruits in the bush, so that's quite nice. But I think we've still got a few weeks to go. Maybe by the let's say the end of July, maybe the last week of July, these trees should have some fruit. Right, get back in again to get all my wires plugged in. Oh, I'm about to lose my cleaning cloth. That would be a disaster. What would I do, Sebastian? Can you imagine if I lost my cleaning cloth? But I could probably use this. You could sweep. Like, she also makes a great broom too. Oh, that works really well, and I can reach. It's nice. I'll remember that when I go off-roading and I get all the leaves on the hood of the car. Oh, hello Warthog, and hello Kudu. Let's see if they're gonna stay there. Let me go forward once more. Get the next gap. There's a couple of animals around here. Oh, look, it's the Warthog using the luxury facilities. What a surprise. We only saw that about 100 times yesterday. There it is. Yes, it's a very vulnerable position that you found yourself in there, Warthog. Off you go, young lady. Now, we often see warthogs in this area, but it's just the one, not a family of them. Maybe the rest are just off and about. Now, there's some birds actually here in this quarry tree, and we were talking about LBJs, and I think we're going to get a chance. There's some southern black tits. There's a batis. I'm just going to see if we can find any of them that are hopping about on the top of the tree. It's a little food party. I'm just trying to see exactly who we got. Can you hear them? There's some really cool birds. Who's that? Can we have a closer look? Sorry, I can't see any of them. It's so difficult. Oh, sit still. Who's that? I think there's an orange-breasted bushshrike flying around in here too. Because I could see a bird with a slight grey head, but it wasn't as big as a grey-headed bushshrike. Sit still, please. This is the hardest part. Who do we have back there? What are you? My goodness, what I'm trying to... Is that a brew? That looks like it maybe is a brew. I'm just trying to quickly check on my app while you search in that tree for some more birds. There's a whole lot of them jumping around there, but just that rufous colour stood out quite nicely. I think it was a little brew that we got a quick view of. There's a whole lot more. They're bouncing about. Sometimes if you do that, you can entice them to come in your direction. Right, let me concentrate. Let me get my bird app out. Sometimes you don't see these birds for such a long time, and then once you see them, you almost forget what they look like. I think it was a female brew that we saw just a moment ago. There's a golden-breasted bunting. Nicely done, Sebastian. Thank you so much. So this is another little bird. That's a beautiful one. They're one of my favorites. The golden-breasted buntings, also the cinnamon-breasted bunting is quite nice. So the first one was definitely a female. There's a batis. There's a chin spot batis too. Look at this. Hello. Oh my goodness, we're getting lots, and I know it's just very quick sightings of them, but they're hanging around in a quarry tree. So perhaps they're being a bit eager and starting to nibble on some of the fruits that are just starting to develop. But now it's gone quiet, so I think they've all moved onto the next tree. Oh, that was nice. So a female brew, a chin spot batis. I didn't get to see if it was the male or female. The female's got the actual spot on her chin, and then also a golden-breasted bunting. So that was quite nice. A little food party just moving through the quarry trees, and we'll see if we can find some more around here. But I'm going to send you back across now to Ali. She's not looking at the smaller things. She's actually found one of Africa's giants.
Yes, success! After looking for them or seeing them far off in the distance, we have managed to come across this beautiful bull. And pretty much right around the corner as we were not expecting it, that's when we saw it. So I'm quite happy that we managed to find it before it moved off. Don't go. Stay around. Because we're not too far from our southern boundary. So if he decides to carry on moving in that direction, then we're going to lose him to Hoffman's, I believe. But let's enjoy him while we've got him here. Raj, you're wondering why elephants damage, I think, grass or trees without any reason? Well, they always have got a reason for it. Although why sometimes they do as much damage as they do, I think that's a bit of the mystery part. But they break things to be able to get to them and to eat them. So sometimes they'll break a few too many branches, and then the tannins in the leaf, which is a substance that the tree produces to avoid being overeaten, then they make the tree untasty. So the elephant just breaks off a branch, has a little bit of a bite, and then moves off because it doesn't like the taste, which I think is exactly what's happened now. He's just pretty much decided that that bush willow was not tasty enough, and it could be that the bush willow was already putting tannins out and the leaves don't taste the appropriate way, and it carries on. Now it seems like he's gone on to another bush willow at the back, I think maybe we are on a bush willow breakfast. And that's what he's eating. And it is amazing. I know it's not the best view, but unfortunately I've got no way around it because he is on another property, which is a bit unfortunate, but I'm very happy we managed to see one of the giants this morning as we've been looking for them. Always very nice to see them, isn't it? Now, I wonder if perhaps he's been trailing a herd of females, because yesterday morning when we were at the dam, there was a big bull and the younger bull that were fighting around, and I think it was because a half-drunk female could potentially start going into heat. Now, the estrous cycle of a female elephant doesn't last too long, and she'll start putting out a scent, but also an infrasonic rumble that will attract all the males around in the area. And I wonder if that's perhaps the reason why we've had so many males around this area. Now, Taylor had a few young bulls, and then we had those bulls, and now we've got this one, and this is roughly the direction where she was headed into yesterday morning. So I wonder if perhaps she's still not around here somewhere, just waiting for one of these boys to come and sweep her off her feet. Alright, seems like our guy is a bit too much into the thickets now, so we're going to leave him and carry on, see if we can see anything else down this road. So far it's proven to be lucky thing that we came down here today, and we'll see what else there is around. Also, no leopard tracks on this road, which is quite surprising, so I think we're going to do a quick loop around Treehouse Dam, see if perhaps there's anything there that we could have missed. And we shall see. What are you alarming at? Oh, there's a squirrel alarming. Maybe I'm gonna go down this road and see what that squirrel is looking at. Sometimes they'll do these funny noises at leopards, so I wonder if she's looking at something that we would like to see. Let's go over and find the squirrel and see what it's alarming at. Okay, there's a squirrel on top of this tree. No leopard tracks over here. Are you not going to call anymore? Now, the squirrel was looking in this general direction, so this is why we've come down here and see if perhaps she was looking at anything. But let me grab my binoculars and do a quick scan of the area, see if perhaps there's anything lurking in the distance that we cannot see from here. The squirrel has gone quiet, so maybe it was just a passing bird of prey that it spotted. There's a bit of a problem with squirrels. They have excellent eyesight and they're very good at seeing potential prey, but the problem is, predators, but the problem is that because they've got so many predators, often it can be anything from a bird to a snake to a leopard to maybe even a genet. So I think in this case, she's seen something. Rashni, you say hopefully a raptor if it's not a cat. I can't even see a raptor flying around, so I am a bit puzzled about what this little one saw. But it was roughly looking in the direction of Treehouse Dam. So I'm going to turn around again and carry on with our intended route, see if perhaps we find what it is that the squirrel was looking at. Now I've just got to turn around here, which is always a process with Wendy.